What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're just vlogging today. I have work to do, but I only can do so much of it since I'm by myself today unless somebody pops by the shop. But I figured we'd like bringing the camera along, and yeah, we'll see what goes on today and or tomorrow. I don't know. Let's have some fun. Let's do something. Get something done at least. Soda or my energy drink. Oh no. Wish there was an easier way to get in this freaking parking lot. This thing was gnarly. Especially with the welded diff. Just feels like the freaking thing's breaking. Oh, sounds like it's breaking. Good Lord. Good enough. Oh yeah, got a sticker on the door now, so now it's easier to find me. Well, besides having the only rose bush in the complex, but that's just a small flex. I gotta finish this stinking clutch job on this car. I don't know if I'll finish it today because I'm kind of still waiting on parts. So there's this piece called like the drive shaft flex plate thing. I don't know, a guibo, whatever you want to call it. There's a few different terms for it. But basically this thing has a funky setup because this was an automatic done to a manual swap. And my buddy just bought this so he could start drifting with me and Ryan with the JZX. So this thing, again, manual swapped, but whoever did it kind of used a hodgepodge of parts. Like when I did my manual swap, I picked up a ZF transmission. I picked up the drive shaft that came, well, not even the same one for that transmission. Like it was a correct one, but like there was no confusion with it and it all just kind of bolted up perfectly fine. But for whatever reason with this car back here, whoever put it together seemed to have kind of hack jobbed quite a few things. So that's kind of where I'm picking up the pieces for my buddy Jeff. So one of the things, actually for example, is this. This is the shift rod, like shift selector, whatever you want to call it. This is just what, clips to the shifter and to the transmission. This is your forward back gear selector piece. And for whatever reason, they had some funky thing on here. I already cut it out and I had to weld in this new square stock. Granted, we can buy a new one of these, but at least for the short term to get this car just moving, I just made them a new one. But yeah, they had this slip joint here that was aluminum, whereas the rest of this is steel, and they had like pinned it and JB welded it, and it was super floppy and just wrong. But like then the other issue is the clutch kit that was on this car over here on the table, incorrect. That's why he got the car for so cheap. He paid $1,900 for this thing. It's pretty cherry. Runs good and everything. Like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, so the person put the clutch in wrong because it was manual swapped before the previous owner bought it. The previous owner burnt up the clutch, put a clutch kit in it, and then couldn't figure it out, and now Jeff bought it. So the issue is that it wouldn't go into gear. So I figured after having done a handful of these things now, mine included, is it's very easy to put these clutches in backwards on these cars, especially when doing a single mass flywheel conversion because the factory setup is a dual mass. So with that, took it apart. Turns out that it was the same issue my friend Emily recently had where she got a used clutch kit trying to get her manual swap done after her engine was being built for like a year, and the flywheel was incorrect for the pressure plate and clutch setup. So that's what happened with this one. It's all Vallejo branded. It was just the wrong flywheel for the pressure plate. So what was happening is when you would go to bolt it down, it would pre-load the teeth or the fingers, whatever you want to call them, on the pressure plate. So thankfully we got an FX Stage 3 clutch kit, the same one I just put in my E46, and we're gonna slap that in today. I don't have a second hand, and I did arms this morning at the gym, arms and chest, so I'm a little tired. So I can probably get the transmission up by myself. I'll just lower the lift down and lay on my back and just do it like that, like it were on jack stands. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get some progress made on this thing today and get that thing knocked out. I also just want to share with you DA Integra guys that are K-swapped, or even EF guys. I believe this will work for you, and maybe even normal K-swaps. I just know that DA explicitly has a little cutout in the core support that this is for. So this is one of my newer products. I've been sitting on the fixture for it because I run the same intake on my Integra. But yeah, this is a DA/EF K-swap intake. Now this on the DA, throttle body up here, this puts this with a stubby filter right behind the cutout in the sheet metal in the core sport. And if you trim the corner of your grill out in your front bumper, you get a perfect feed to your filter. So it's pretty dope. I offer it in aluminum as well as titanium. And this is on my website now. You can have an optional, valve cover breather port, and then there will be an IAT port somewhere down on the side right here for the sensor, obviously. But yeah, if you guys want this, aluminum is on the website, titanium also on the website, just double the price, basically, a little bit more because it's a lot more expensive. But yeah, just want to throw that out there. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna unbox this clutch really quick and we'll get working. So this right here is the instructions that tells you which direction it needs to be facing. And whatnot, yeah, pictures on the back side. So remember that on these clutches, the raised side of the clutch disc goes towards the engine and not the gearbox. Now these ones usually aren't labeled as such, but that is how they orientate. So this side, yeah, so this doesn't tell you at all which one. So normally on Sachs clutches or Valeros or some of the other name brand ones, it'll say, flywheel side or gearbox side or whatever. This one obviously says nothing. So nothing on the front, nothing on the back. So in this case, if this was the flywheel, we'd be facing the raised side here, right onto that. I don't know why, BMWs are just weird. So here we have the throwout bearing, which this one should have a brand new one on it anyway, because the clutch kit is brand new. That's on the car, just again the wrong pieces. Then we got some, flywheel bolts. So here is our pressure plate. And then again, this is doing a single mass flywheel conversion. This is a lightweight chromoly unit. So here we are. And again, just like you guys have done before, brake rotors, flywheels, make sure to clean it all with brake clean or something of equivalent before installing it. So you can see all that oil on there, like that gnarly glistening. So yeah, I definitely want to wipe that down. But I know it doesn't look thick, especially since a lot of my viewers are, Honda and Miata guys and stuff. So that's small for a BMW flywheel, I'll tell you what. So we should be good. Go ahead, assemble this again. It will go this way. That's why there's such an indentation here. That's for the raised side to go like that. I don't make the rules, I just follow them. I know a lot of you tech guys, guys that work in shops and or, have your own place. You might already know these, but just for my, backyardigans, my DIYers, I got this when I worked at a dealership years ago. These things are great. If you go to Harbor Freight, they sell these now for like $15. It's called a Sure Shot, that's the brand, but Harbor Freight's is whatever. And then go to O'Reilly's and get yourself like a 5-gallon barrel of brake clean. It's like $118, something like that. It's a little pricey, but it lasts a good long time. And then you just, fill this, and then you just hit the air chuck on it, and then you got brake clean on the go, just like that. Works really well, and yeah, it saves you some money in the long term. So it's looking like this thing's already got a brand new pilot bearing as well, so I'm not going to change that because it also has a brand new rear main seal. Like I said, all of this was brand new. Like this whole clutch kit right here, it's all brand new. It's just the wrong setup. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead, bolt the flywheel on, get everything torqued down, and we'll just start putting things up. All right, so you want to make sure you pay attention because there's one of these bolts, one of these holes that has a larger diameter hole to it, and that hole is for the stinking dowel, and this freaking starter is in my way. There we go. And of course, blue Loctite on all the bolts. $78. I got it now. 1, 2, 3. All right, so this part is what I was going to warn you guys about. So we're on to the part where we put the flywheel, or I'm sorry, the pressure plate and the clutch disc in. So again, raised side facing in. But these tools, for some reason, in these freaking BMWs never seem to fit good. So it's not going to align itself. You can see it sags, especially with the weight of the clutch disc on it. So you have to hold it up and eyeball it to the best of your ability before you start snugging things down. And then I just hit it with the impact driver to hold it. And once the clutch is, you know, tight enough to hold itself, then I can go through and torque it. But it's really annoying, so just bear that in mind. See what I mean? See all that slop in there? So same procedure, blue Loctite. These torque specs are 25 foot-pounds. All right, so got the transmission up now. Had to change some stuff on here. Obviously, this is where everything else sits. It was covered in crap all up in the inside, so I cleaned all that out. The person that put the clutch in previously caked the whole, you know, input shaft with, I'm assuming white lithium grease is what this stuff looks like, but you're not supposed to do that. So he does have the upgraded brass bushing already, and we are putting in a new clutch fork. This is the new one because the old one had got worn through. You can see there's a hole in that. So yeah, that's definitely no bueno. So yeah, this thing is dead. New clutch fork going in. Goes in pretty easy on these things. You got the little spring here to retain it, and it's not, you know, it's not orientated left or right, it's just mirrored. So we just slip it in here, and it sits on there like that. Although the spring is supposed to hold it better, so I'm wondering if this is the wrong one. I'm going to check the part number here in a moment. And then for the throttle bearing, that just tucks right inside of here, just like that. So yeah, like that, and then push rod comes in, does your, you know, Bob's your uncle. Forgot to hit record, but transmission is up. I'm just working on putting the bolts in right now. So got a total of, what, 3 E10s, 2 E12s, which I believe these two are like starter bolts, and then some E14s. So yeah, a little tight. So on that top right corner up there, you can't even see it. On the E46, mine just works, like I can just reach it. On this one, I used a pry bar against here and was able to get my socket with extensions up there. All right, so finally got transmission up, new transmission mounts on, and yeah, thankfully Isaiah showed up and I was able to help get that last starter bolt because, wow, I am very dark. Yeah, so that starter bolt was giving me a huge run for my money. One of them was damaged a little bit, so just didn't make it easy, but no, we're good. So yeah, break time. Oh yeah, so I am waiting on a new Guibo drive shaft flex disc, whatever you want to call it. You had to order the right one because funky setup again. So next up is transmission bracket, and then clutch slave, and I gotta bleed everything. Funny story with that. So yeah. All right, everything underneath is all put back together, you know, for what I can do at the moment, because we still got the drive shaft over there because we're waiting on a new Guibo thing. So right now, I mentioned, you know, the color of the fluid in the bag was off. So long story short, there's ATF in the brake master / clutch master in this thing. So I got to try and flush this all out. I do have a pressure bleeder. I'm going to try that first. I'm going to go ahead, fill this up. We got a couple big bottles of brake fluid. I'm going to just try and dilute it and flush it out. I sucked as much as I could out with my vacuum bleeder already. And I'm going to try and give it just a little bit more. But yeah, I'm hoping we can flush this all out. I already warned the guy, you know, warned my buddy that, you know, he's going to order new brake lines. Told him to ditch the hard line, soft line setup that's on the clutch now and just run the garage stick or chase bays, like the whole braided one, so we can replace the rubber on that. And if this doesn't work, we're going to have to do a new master cylinder too, since it's shared with the clutch. But yeah, kind of a big mistake, because this is what takes ATF, not this guy. So I just tried bleeding the clutch. I wasn't getting anything out of it with my pressure bleeder, so right now I'm going through and I'm thinking maybe either the line is clogged, which is a big possibility, or there's so much air that it just can't get out. So right now I'm going through and I'm bleeding all the brakes. So you can see I got my bleeder set up right here, and yeah, it's working pretty well. The first one took forever to get all the air out, so the pressure bleeder is working great though. But yeah, I'm gonna just have to sit here and do this. But the amount of crap and gunk that I'm getting out of these lines is disgusting. So it needed this regardless. Like, let me show you, it's finally getting clean. So now you can see it's all clear fluid coming out of here. Normally this pressure bleeder setup takes, you know, a good, honestly, 10 to 15 seconds per side. And I've been here for probably about a minute and a half, 2 minutes now. So we're still getting some air out of here. You can kind of see it here. So I'll let it run. Oh yeah, there's a good bubble right there. So I'll let this run for another probably 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and then move on to the fronts. The other rear side is done. So run into an issue. It's still not wanting to bleed. So I think the clutch master might be toast, or that line might be totally clogged, or maybe deteriorated, or something along those lines. So I just text the owner, and I'm just gonna call it a day. I'll catch up with you guys, you know, probably tomorrow, make some more progress on this thing, hopefully. But at the moment, you know, I'm stuck at a standstill until we get this clutch sorted. So hopefully somebody local has a master cylinder, and we'll try that. But other than that, that's the only thing I can think of, because the brakes bled out fine. Like, it took a minute to get all the crap out, but they bled okay, and I'm not even getting a drop out of the clutch. So I'm gonna do some reading, but to me that kind of tells me that something's blocking it, or that it's not just getting through. And I'm putting, you know, 17, 18 PSI in this line. So I'll figure something out, and we'll see you guys probably tomorrow. Tomorrow for sure. All right, so here we are again next day. I just finished up a little job. Had to weld the sway bar end link back together on that thing. Like, the tab where it mounts was broken, so I had to fix that as part of the subframe. But now I'm back on this. So I just was thinking about it last night, and so I came in, and first thing I just did is I just pulled this line off. Now this is the hard line that goes between, you know, this hose here, which is obviously covered in ATF. Like, you can see if it'll focus up right there. Maybe. Trying to, there we go. You can see it's got ATF in it, so that's got me concerned. I'm thinking either the master is blocking it from flowing because it's damaged now, or maybe this line is completely clogged. So what I'm going to do next is there's a disconnect point right here. You see that little pin? You just take a flathead and you take the clip out of it and it will come out. So I'm going to try that really quick. And I already sprayed brake clean through this line and blew it out with the air hose, and this one flows fine despite it having like a very light kink to it there. And yeah, this one looks great, or well, you know, it's working great. So I know it's not this that's the problem. So it's something between the reservoir and right here that is making the problem. So all I'm doing is I'm working my way back to try and figure out what's blocking it. All right, so here we got the line off. Let me bend you down here a little bit, zoom you out that way. So here's the line. Let's get some brake clean through it, see if it even flows. So we'll start from the top down. I mean, it's flowing. Doesn't seem too happy about it. No, we're doing okay. All right, so let's clean that out with the air chuck. Oh. All right. Anyway, yeah, so this is good. We have flow at both the lower hoses, so that leads me to believe that the master is blocking it for some reason, because it's not pushing the fluid from up top down below. Okay, I just confirmed the master cylinder is bad, thankfully, so I crawled in there, been working, breaking my back, and I finally got the master cylinder pulled apart. So I took the line that was from the master out to the firewall, I blew that out, air is coming out good, but still nothing coming out of the master, even with pushing the pedal in. So I just disconnected the master finally, which is what I was fighting with, because that hose really suctions itself on there, and as soon as I pulled that thing off, it starts peeing on the floor. So I'm gonna go pick up a master, and we're gonna get this thing working. So I've been messing with this thing for a couple of hours now. Again, this is the old one, this is the new one. So it turns out this has to be just a poorly manufactured unit. So the way these things go in is you push the line into there, and then there's a C-clip, or like a little wiggle clip that locks in. So it goes in perfect on this one. And this, I looked up the part number, and on FCP Euro, this pops up as ranging anywhere from working on a 323i, CI, CX, 325, 328, 330, 335. Basically everything from like 98 to 2013 roughly. But I noticed the style it's a little bit more open in here and more circular, whereas this AutoZone one, and this is also plastic, and then this AutoZone cast one is a bit more smaller in the tip, and then it also, like, the clip just will not seat at all. Cannot. I've been fighting with it for a couple hours now and losing my absolute mind over it. So this one was for a 330i, but yeah, it just doesn't fit. So I'm thinking it's just, you know, manufacturer quality control or lack thereof, because I watched a YouTube video and another guy used the same style one. His went in. This one doesn't go in. I think it's just a quality control issue. So we're just going to say screw it. I'm going to take this one back, and my buddy Jeff is going to order another one of these ones through the dealership or FCP Euro, whoever can get it sooner. And then we're just going to have to go from there. So unfortunately, you know, that's where this video is going to end out right now, because I'm just kind of stuck. I can't do anything else until the clutch is bled, and I can't do anything else underneath until we have the drive shaft flex plate thing, like Weibo. So we're just waiting on parts on this thing, and we're kind of stuck. So, well, I suppose with that, I'm just going to head out of here for the night. So if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments down below. This is definitely one of those cases of just like, no matter how hard you try, sometimes the parts just don't work. And I'm bummed because that means it takes longer for me to get paid. Owner's bummed because it's longer for him till he's driving. And it sucks for everybody. But, you know, whatever. I got it sorted out. I'm just looking for my keys. I lost my freaking keys in my cabinet somehow. I don't know where I put them. But, yeah, anyways, guys, thanks for spending some time out of your day here with me. If you enjoyed it, let me know. And, yeah, I don't have much else to say. So, do what you love. Forget about the rest. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.